Hey folks, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Tonight we have a special treat for you. We're going to have a special guest, but first, what are we going to review? We're going to do the High Country Honey from Booneshine Brewing Company out of Boone, North Carolina.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We're back to do that again. We've got a special guest with us once again. We've got Wes, who joins us. Wes, thanks for coming back and doing another beer with us. How can people find you if they want to find you outside of the show?
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for allowing me to come back and crash the party here on the beer review, the best beer review show in the world. But you can you can find me on Instagram at 1218 Brewing.
All right. We've got a quote there that we can officially use now.
Great slogan.
Best
beer show in the world.
We'll definitely make use of that. So thanks for that.
We'll get you the money later.
yeah. Give us your Venmo. We'll shoot that over to you.
Pay him in more beer.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got Andy in the attic and Jay. I am Ben. Gentlemen, what are we drinking today?
We're going to go up to Boone, North Carolina, courtesy of Wesley, and we're going to go to Booneshine Brewing. We're going to have their High Country Honey. It's an amber ale, and I am very thirsty. So let's get to drinking her. I'm excited.
It's a precursor to what might happen here. Do some tappies. I don't understand why I have so much beer that
clean up
pressurized.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand at the same time.
Well.
Oh, look at that. Beer. Mine didn't do anything.
Mine didn't either.
It's just Andrew's.
I guess the change in altitude coming from downstairs to the attic really did it in.
That looks pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice color.
Mm-hmm.
Clean myself. Excuse me.
Yeah. While you do that, we did a beer swap a little while back with Wes and sent him some stuff that's local to us. He sent us some stuff that's local to him. And we thought we'd have him on the show to help us review the ones, some of the ones that he sent to us. So that's how he ended up here. And yeah, great to have him again. And with that, cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Wow. So, as mentioned, this amber ale, 5.8%, 18 IBUs. It is one of their, it's interesting how they labeled this. One of their year-round flagships. They have 7 they claim to have year-round flagships. So I thought a flagship was like the best, the one up front. So, and I guess, when you think of a flagship, it's the first ship followed by all the other ships, so I guess they all go when there's more than one flagship, they all got to be side by side, so you can't tell.
It's Boone, North Carolina. Come on, Andy. I mean,
I'm just busting some chops. I was like, what is it? Did I write that down right? I don't know, words. Anyway, it's a smashing beer, by the way, so not to knock the brewery. This is several malts: pale malts, Munich malts, honey malt, caramel malt, and it uses Cascade hops, Centennial, and Amarillo hops. It also uses local honey, North Carolina honey and I've never heard of this type of honey, sourwood honey, from this Faith Mountain farm. And evidently it claims that sourwood honey is highly prized and sought after. And it's only produced in the hills of Southern Appalachia. Can you expound anything about this sourwood honey?
I'm trying to dig, as Jay did. I'm trying to dig deep here. There is a certain tree or flower, and I can't remember exactly, but it is that is you've got your clover and all this and that, but sourwood is one thing that you find a lot in all the shops and little country stores and all that. Everybody looks for and wants that sourwood honey.
Can you tell us like a difference?
Maybe a little more. I don't. All those buzzwords, earthy or whatever. It's not as maybe not as cloying or so sweet as like a clover or something like that. It's just a little more hearty or something like that.
I wonder
just
if it might be related to some flowers or some flowering portions of a tree. Since it's got wood in there. I don't know. That's just a guess, but it's obviously something that's indigenous to the Appalachian area.
Yeah.
Appalachian.
Yeah. Potato.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Yeah. No, I probably, being a native North Carolinian, should know a little more about that, I would say, but I don't. I don't. Yeah.
I don't care enough to know.
Yeah, I like honey. I read the label a little bit. I know that it is different, but
it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
But you're not going around to all the co-ops and the farmers markets and
no, but
the most North Carolina honey you got.
Exactly. No, I will. My sister-in-law works for the state cooperative extension and 4-H and all that, so I will find an answer for you guys.
I'm so disappointed that you didn't know this.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an idea there for another show, though. I mean, it's bee honey review. I'm
right. Yeah,
out there. Bee honey review show. There you go. I like the can art. So we showed it earlier, but of course it's got a lot about bees. And what got my interest, the nerd in me, when they started showing the symbols here, it is the ring structure chemical formula for glucose. So I looked that up. Which,
how did you look that up? Did you just figure out what was on the can, or did you?
I looked up the chemical formula for honey, and which glucose honey. So, and then it pretty much what the CHOO. There's a lot of C's and H's and O's. So
nerd in the attic, basically. Is what,
okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. So that's it for the beer. Booneshine Brewing Company, Boone, North Carolina. It's a microbrewery founded in 2015, and they expanded in 2018. Added a tasting room and a restaurant in 2019, then a beer garden in 2020. And as I said, they have 7 year-round flagships and 10 seasonals. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, sorry. I was just going to say the restaurant that they have on site is pretty awesome. I mean, it's, a lot of typical pub fare, but being Boone and a little upper class there, the food really is good. They started last year, I think. There's a semi-pro soccer team in Boone, and their field is right behind Booneshine, and so they do a lot of partnerships there. And they've got I think their name is the Sasquatch or Boone Bigfoots. No, Bigfoots is the baseball team. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Their whole setup is just awesome. I mean, it's wide open beer garden, good food, barbecue's good. It's a pretty cool place to hang out.
Awesome. Yeah, Boone's a neat city. I've been there a couple of times over the years. I don't know if you guys have, but really, really neat city to visit. So,
Yeah, and there are other, as far as their 7 flagships who sell side by side. They, I know their East Boone Pills is really good. Just a good, clean, crisp pills. One of their seasonals is the Professor. It's a good oatmeal stout. Just overall, their beers normally pretty awesome. They did I can't remember what the style was called, but they did one and it was fermented with grape skins and all that, and it was out of this world. They do one similar to what I can't remember the Sour Patch inspired one y'all reviewed here a while back. They do one similar. Yeah, Patches. There it is. I think they do one similar to that, and they have a little Sour Patch Kid on the side of the glass as a garnish. So a lot of interesting things. They are big on just everything being local and sourced as close to Boone as they can. So it's just a neat, a completely different vibe from Appalachian that we reviewed a while back, but still quality beer, a good place to go and hang out with the family and eat some good food.
so how many breweries do you think are up there in Boone? I know that's where App State is, so I know they pull from the college, and they've got the minor league soccer team, which I didn't know they had. So it's grown a good bit.
It is. It is. So you've got Booneshine, you've got AMB, Lost Province is another one. They do a Czech Pills, which is fan-friggin-tastic. And then there is a new one going in. They should open in the next week or two, called South End Brewing. Their South End actually started in Greensboro, I think, and have now opened up a spot in Boone.
How many colleges are there in Boone? Is it just App State, or is that
just App State?
Just App State. Okay, I didn't know if there was a smaller college.
There's well, I mean, down the road ways you've got Caldwell Technical Community College. I mean, there's a few community colleges around. Wilkes Community College is about 30 minutes away. Just a few places like that. Yeah. Okay. But as far as major universities, just App.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Our normal tradition here is if you've had it, you go last. I'm going to go ahead and assume that Wesley, you've had this one. We're going to let you go last anyway, since you're a guest. But if you come on the show a few more times, we probably are going to waive that right there. Jay, why don't you go first for us?
Sure. I like this. It's easy drinking. The honey to me is different than the traditional honey, the sweet honeys we're used to. I think it's probably related to one of those. If there's something called a sourwood tree, I would guess that's what it is. Maybe the flowering blooms of that tree. It seems to be there on the back end when I drink it. It's like a little silkiness, I guess, at the end of the sip as you process it. To me, that's where I get it. It seems a lot more how would I put it, almost kind of a spicy or something along those lines. Not like spice heat, but just a spice of some sort. It's a good beer. I appreciate you sharing it with us. I'm going to give it a 7.5. So,
all right, Nerd, what do you think?
Talking to me? I was looking up sourwood honey.
I figured you were.
Sourwood tree, in the southern mountains. Yeah. It's created when honeybees collect pollen and nectar from sourwood tree flowers. So,
boom.
Yeah. I guess that's why you can only get in where those trees are growing.
Probably extremely rare, and
Yeah. Um, I enjoy a good amber, and great color too. Looks like an amber. And I like that first sip was just amazing. And I had to quickly get another one in. I like an amber that isn't, you can taste the malt, but it doesn't taste like a malt bomb, that it's like too caramel or tastes like a, you know, like a manufacturer imitation flavoring in something that you eat or drink. Some beers, ambers that are just too malty and kind of like coat your mouth and your tongue, but this isn't that. That gives just the right balance of malt, little mild bitter back end from the hops, and just a little touch of the honey sweetness. So it's a great balance. I'm a fan of amber and red ales. I'm giving this an 8. Man, I could drink this a lot. Good choice. Thanks for choosing this out of all that you could have been sending us. It was a good one.
Yep.
All right. So I agree. I think the malt is very well done. It's not too malty. It's just the right balance of malt. I think, Jay, I was kind of searching for that back end, a way to describe that too. And your description is kind of a spice, again, not hot, but just as a spice flavor of some sort. I think it's probably the best way that, I couldn't even come up with that. So, but I agree with you. That part of it on the back end, especially the first 3, 4, 5 sips, left me just trying to figure out what that was. A touch of bitter there. That combined with that spice is not 100% for me. And I don't taste the honey again. We had a beer recently that you guys both got the honey. I couldn't get the honey. I don't get the honey on this one. Maybe it's just me.
Story of your life.
Do we need
Just
to
can't get the
send
honey.
in some honey?
Yeah. So I don't get it at all.
Have you tasted honey?
Yeah, exactly.
Not sourwood honey, obviously. But I think that spice that we're calling it on that back end is
Don't say twang.
Hey, that's the word I was looking for. It's a twang there. No, it's just it's a little more than I like. Let's put it that way. I really, again, like the front end. It's the back end that, for me is a little bit not so much my favorite. So for that, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I think it's okay.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that leaves that to me.
All you.
Do you need to introduce me or anything? I feel like I am trying to follow the flow of the show.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's what you think.
Yeah. So
Better introduction, Ben. You didn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's good. Not that I need one. I just didn't want to mess up the flow of the
No, you're good.
of the show.
This is your 2 cents.
Have you watched the show before?
Wesley's our fan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are doing this out of pity. I appreciate it greatly. No. But no, this is when it's hot outside, especially dead of summer, you're looking for all the dry, crispy lagers and all of those things. But this is one that I can throw in with those, and it's never feels too heavy. It's not, as Andy was saying, it's pretty balanced. I think I like that little bit of spice or hop or whatever that is at the very end. It kind of balances out. If it wasn't for that, to me, I think I would find it too sweet. I'm not even, on stouts, I like them to have enough rose to balance out the sweet. So because of that, I find this one to be an easy drinking summer beer. Probably not right after I've mowed the yard, but but I don't have any problem. It's not like, man, I got to wait for it to cool it down and the sun to go down before I can break one of these out. This is just a good, easy drinking filler beer, not too heavy, not too high ABV. It just kind of works. Um, and all seasons really. So I'm probably going to go with Jay on this one. Give it a 7.5. It's not something that I'm actively going to go to the store and say, hey, I'm out of high country honey. I've got to pick up some more. But if it's there, if we go to Booneshine, it's definitely one that I'm probably going to have a pint of. And if it's at the store, and I haven't had it in a while, I'll definitely grab some just because it is a good, easy drinking beer when you're wanting to have a few at night and not regret the next day. So, yeah, 7.5 from me.
So I have a question, Wesley.
Mhm.
Being the
Yeah.
head brewer of 1218 Brewing, that kind of bitter aftertaste, could you pick out, or the spice that they might be talking about of the malts, like pale malts, Munich malts, honey malt, caramel malt, might contribute to that, or the Cascade, Centennial, Amarillo hops? And I don't want to put you on the spot because I know nothing about.
No. I would say that would be, as far as the malts, the pale malt, the honey malt. The honey malt is going to be a little more light and biscuity, I guess. The crystal malt is going to be sweeter, caramelly. So I would say the Munich malt, because it does have that hint of something like a Marzen. They're pretty heavy on the Munich malt. But I would say, as far as that spice, that bitterness on the end, I would probably attribute that to the Amarillo. Excuse me. We went to a local brewery last night, and they had one called Holy Amarillo as an IPA, and it had a lot of that same spiciness and bitterness. The Cascade is going to be like a Sierra Nevada, so it's going to have a little bit of a kick and a bitterness, but not necessarily a spice. That Amarillo, if I'm guessing and throwing darts at the wall, that would be what gives it a little more that spicy punch at the end.
Could also be the honey.
Yeah, true.
So,
yeah.
Or a combination.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't spend that one.
All right, that is going to give us a 7.4 for, what are we drinking here? The High Country Honey Amber Ale from Booneshine Brewing Company. Definitely an interesting one. Wes, we definitely appreciate you doing the beer swap with us and getting this one to us. It's been a fun one to review and to have you on the show. Again, let people know how they can find you if they want to find you outside of these 4 boxes.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at 1218 Brewing. All
right. Thanks again for joining us on the show here today. If you want to connect with us some more, you can check out our social medias linked all down in the bottom in the description. You can also come say hey in our Discord server. Again, we got introduced to Wes directly through our Discord server. So, hey, this could be you, one day. You could maybe be on our show.
This could be you.
So if I didn't totally convince you not to join Discord right there, then come on and say hey to us. If you've made it this far, obviously we have a good time with the show, but if you've made it this far, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell. And also, if you are interested in any kind of hopped up beer review merch, we have a link for that down the bottom. You can get a glass, you can get a shirt, you can get some other stuff. So check that out if it so interests you. For Andy in the attic, Jay, Wes, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Wesley's the envy of the world, since we are the number 1 beer review show in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is a great honor and privilege.